Hello viewers, I am Ambassador Dr. Julius Oyedemi, your most astounding CEO 2023 P1 Group. The best radio to listen to is no other than Cedarwood Luxury Radio. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Michael Ahwetie. I'm the Managing Director of P1 Pro, and I want to encourage you to subscribe to Cedarwood Radio.
This is Cedarwood Luxury Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
Hello everybody, this is Vivian Imako, the ED, P1 Perfection Business Investments Limited, and you're listening to Cedarwood Luxury Radio. Keep it locked. God bless you.
All right. Finally, we are here. Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you. A beautiful Monday morning, afternoon. Yes. Did I just say afternoon? A beautiful Monday morning to each and every one of you. How are you doing? Yes, I'm super hyped this Monday afternoon. Exactly 30 minutes past the hour of 11. Welcome to Nigeria's first real estate radio. This is Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio. I really must begin by tendering a sincere apology for starting up an hour late, more than 1 hour late. And that is, it is due to, due to the, network and some other technical challenges that we were faced with, and by the special grace of God, we were able to overcome. And yes, we are live here, and I'm super excited to come your way this beautiful Monday. Yes, hope your day is going fine as planned. And how are you all doing? I would love to hear from you this beautiful Monday. What are you up to? Where are you at this very moment? And what's actually happening right there where you are? Yes, I'd love to hear from you. This is Table Talk. It comes your way every Monday by 10 a.m. It comes your way every Monday by 10 a.m. But for some technical challenges, we were unable to stream live we were unable to stream live at the scheduled time. But yes, we are live and we are here. We ain't going back. Nothing that happened. This afternoon, why am I saying afternoon? This morning, we have a few stories that we would be looking into, a few things we'll be talking about. And I'd love you all to be part of the conversation. If you've been missing any edition, if you've missed or you've been missing any edition of our Table Talk, do well not to miss it any longer. Table Talk is a platform where we keep you abreast of recent happenings in in the country, social, political affairs, current affairs. As far as talking about things that is worth talking about is concerned, Table Talk is a platform that we come together to talk about things, and you also have the opportunity to talk about what we are talking about. So your opinions, your suggestions, any stories that is of your interest, yes, feel free to talk about them, express yourself, and just express yourself how you feel concerning that very particular story. We're not going to take much of your time this morning. As usual, I'm going to begin with a summary from Nigeria newspapers. Yes, I'm just going to begin, a summary from Nigerian newspaper for today being the 4th day of the month of March. And by the way, happy birthday to one of our own, Alex. Happy birthday to you and every other person celebrating having his or her birthday today. If your birthday was also yesterday, your birthday falls on this particular week, happy super birthday to you. I'll begin with 10 things you need to know, which is a summary from Nigerian newspapers this beautiful Monday morning. 16 minutes past the hour of 11. Let's quickly segue into everything that you need to know as regards current and current happenings in our nation, Nigeria. Yes, number one, the police have beefed up security at the warehouses belonging to the National Emergency Management Agency nationwide following the looting of food warehouses in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, on Sunday by suspected hoodlums. This was as soldiers foiled an attempt to raid a factory warehouse at the Idu Industrial District, Jabi, Abuja, on Sunday morning, arresting 5 of the attackers. Number 2, no fewer than 40 million telephone lines were barred by telecommunication operators over the weekend following the expiration of the February 28, 2024 deadline issued by the Nigerian Communications Commission mandating telecom consumers to link the subscriber identity module to their national identity numbers. All right, let's quickly segue to the third on my list, which is the Senate has said it will squeeze some officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria on how the 30 trillion Ways and Means loan was obtained and spent by the federal government during the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. The chairman of the Senate ad hoc committee, Senator Issa Jibri, made this disclosure on Sunday. Number 4, yes, the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee have issued a 1-week deadline to all private airline operators in the country to account for the sum of 4 billion naira given to them by the federal government to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic or refund same in the absence of justifiable evidence of how the amount was spent. The Katsina State Police Command said on Sunday that it was impressed with the response it was receiving from residents over its request for information on 2 bandit kingpins, namely Modi and Jan Kari. Its spokesman, ASP Abubakar Aliyu, said that residents have been turning credible information on the 2 bandits since the command made public the special bulletin on Saturday. All right, number 6, yes, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, says the federal government plans to send some medical personnel abroad for training in certain specialties with a view to checking medical tourism and enhancing research. Lausa said the Federal Ministry of Health was working with the National Postgraduate Medical College, Ijanikin, Lagos State, towards the plan. Also, two riots policemen have been beaten to death and 2 others injured by a mob at the Ipeshi in Akoko, Edo local government area of Edo State. The mob action followed an incident involving a Toyota Hilux vehicle belonging to escort duty policemen, the convoy of former Edo House of Assembly member Emmanuel Agbeje, which hit a motorcycle, resulting in the tragic death of the rider, a woman and her child. Quite unfortunate. All right, number 8 this morning, Works Minister David Umahi has said residents of the Southeast have no reason to join their regions to protest against other regions to protest against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the rising cost of living in the country. Umahi said the president has resolved the incessant farmers-headers clashes in the region. All right, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is number 9, has called on investors to report any of the Nigerian officials who demand bribes from them before they invest in the country. The president said this during the Nigeria-Qatar Business and Investment Forum in Doha on Sunday, while assuring the Qatar's capitalists of the readiness of Africa's largest economy to accommodate and do business with them. And then number 10, which is my last this morning, and then I segue to a few stories I want us to talk about this morning. Bandits have shot dead 2 herders and rustled 223 cows at Haindam in Kachia LGA of Kaduna State. A resident of Gidam Makiri Kabiru Awal said the incident had on Saturday around 6 p.m. The incident happened on Saturday around 6 p.m. when the bandits in their large numbers wielding AK-47 rifles attacked three headers camp in the area. All right, that's a summary of Nigerian newspapers this morning. Yes, in just 10 stories, I bring to you a summary of, stories making the rounds in various newspapers this beautiful morning. All right, as we all know, Table Talk is a platform where we look into different stories making the rounds. We carefully select a few of them. We talk about them, and we also give you a summary of what Nigerian newspapers are talking about, which is what I just did. Let's segue into a few stories that we have decided to talk about this morning. I'm going to start with Lagos State. Yes, this morning, ACPN to Sanwo-Olu, save Lagosians, sanitize drug distribution space. Let's talk about that quickly this morning, even as I segue into the details of this particular story. Reading from the Guardian newspaper. If you've just joined, this is Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio, and this is Table Talk. It's a platform where we come together to talk about things that is of serious concern to us as a nation, things that is of serious concern to us as a people and as a nation as well. And yes, we carefully select a few stories from various stories making the rounds. We bring them to the table, we talk about them. And like I always say, the table is big enough to occupy everybody. So come together and let's put heads together, even as we talk about things that is of serious concern to us as a people and as a nation. Now, I'm reading this particular story from the Guardian newspaper. ACPN to Sanwo-Olu, save Lagosians, sanitize drug distribution space. Yes, sir. Okay, let's see what it is talking about. Community pharmacists under the Association of Community Pharmacists in Lagos have called on Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to replicate Kano's coordinated wholesale center to combat the distribution of fake drugs in Lagos. Yes. This is coming on the heels of the recent relocation of the drug market to the coordinated wholesale center by the Kano state government as part of efforts to end the open drug market in the state. Making the call during the annual general meeting of the chairman, ACPN Lagos State Branch, Farm Lawrence Ekhator argued that drugs should not be sold anywhere, and that a centralized wholesale center should help regulate drug distribution and ensure traceability. Ekhator, who raised the alarm that open drug markets in Lagos have remained a source of worry for all stakeholders within the pharmaceutical space, explained that drugs are only used if and when they are needed as regulated item. We believe that every government should be interested in using the case of Kano to try to sanitize, yes, the drug distribution system. We all know that the menace of drug abuse is very high in Kano. Lagos also has the same problem about drug distribution. We have so many open drug markets, and so we are calling on the Lagos state government, because it is within their purview to allocate or push forward the sites for a coordinated wholesale center. The one in Kano was given by the Kano state government, and so we are calling on Lagos state government to also allocate a portion of land for the coordinated wholesale center of the Lagos state government wholesale center, if the Lagos state government is really interested in the welfare and health of her populace. Ekhator regretted the drug distribution in Nigeria presently was in total shambles, where drugs are sold everywhere and anywhere. He said building the coordinated wholesale center will streamline drug distribution and ensure that every product that comes into the country and that comes to Lagos State can be traced. Yes, I totally agree with this. Now, from the point of entering to the point where it gets to the mouths of the consumer, we need a streamlined distribution system that can be championed through the coordinated wholesale center, whereby the drug markets that are spread across various places in Lagos, in Idumota, in Mushin can all be moved to one location where the regulators, NAFDAC, PCN, and even NDLEA can monitor the inflow and outflow. I totally agree with this school of thought. Yes, we need, if you go to the streets, there are everywhere people sell drugs. And, there was a time where it was everywhere. Oh, don't patronize quack drug sellers. Don't patronize those that sell drugs in the bars. Don't patronize those that sell drugs on the streets and all that. It is not enough to tell people not to patronize them, but you have to put in measures. You have to put things in place. There needs to be a coordinated means at which drugs comes in and goes to the final consumer, so that it can be regulated, it can be traced, and it can be followed, it can be monitored. The inflow and the outflow can be traced and monitored. All right. So I agree with the ACPN chairman to Sanwo-Olu, and just like it happened in Kano State, Lagos State is leading in, is leading in so many areas, and Kano State has taken a bold step, and I think Lagos State should follow suit. Let us save Lagosians. Let us sanitize drug distribution space. Just like he said, in the Vanguard that I've just read, it is not bad if we have a particular, just like we want to move Computer Village to Tejo. Is it Tejo? Is it Tejo or Idumota? I can't remember. Katangwa, yes. They want to move Computer Village to Katangwa Market now. Yes, we should have a space where drugs comes in and goes to the right locations. All right. So if this is done to a large extent, there would be a high level of sanitation, when it comes to drug distribution in Lagos State. All right. Yes, I would also love to hear from you. What is your thoughts on this particular one that, the governor has been called upon to do? What is your thoughts on this particular one that ACPN has, told Sanwo-Olu to consider? What is your thought? I would love to hear from you via the comment section and also via our WhatsApp platform. The numbers are right there on the screen. All right, let's move to the next story. And this time around, we want to read from The Guardian, still reading from The Guardian. Only implementation of agreement will stop nationwide strike, NFC insists. I thought they said they were going to have, was it 2 days strike or 2 days protest? Yes. And I was listening to Showere this morning on Arise TV, and he said he was surprised that the 2 days protest was shaping or streamlined to 1 day, and he wasn't really aware of that. But let's talk about what NLC is talking about in the Vanguard this morning. Only implementation of agreement will stop nationwide strike, NLC. Now, the question I want to ask you is, what is your opinion? What do you think about NLC? Today they are up, tomorrow they are down, next tomorrow they are left, and another day they are right. What is your opinion? What do you think about NLC? I'd love to hear from you right here on Table Talk. Yes, sir. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, insisted yesterday that the only thing that would stop the planned nationwide strike over the hardship in the country was the federal government honoring the agreement it had with Labour. All right. This was contained in the letter written to the government, where in the NLC claims by the federal government that it had fulfilled 80% of the October 2nd, 2023 agreement with organized labor. NLC, in the letter dated February 29, 2024, asked the government to come out clean on any part of the agreement it fully fulfilled, warning that resulting to propaganda and disinformation was heightening restiveness among the citizens. In the letter addressed to the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, NLC's Acting General Secretary Ismail Bello advised the government to between now and March 13, 2024 deadline fast-track the process of implementation of the agreement and avoid a looming industrial crisis. The letter titled, "Has the government truly implemented the October 2nd, 2023 agreement?" reads, "We write to bring to your attention our concerns regarding the implementation of the October 2nd, 2023 agreement. Your statement suggesting that the government has fulfilled 80% of the said agreement has raised a lot of worries among our members. As key stakeholders to that agreement, we feel compelled to address the issue as it may mislead the public and undermine the trust that ought to exist between the government and the Nigerian people, especially that which ought to exist between us as social partners. Upon careful examination of the 15 points outlined in the October 2nd, 2023 agreement, it is evident that most of them have not been fully met. Furthermore, the few that were supposedly being addressed have been implemented in breach. Allow us to highlight these examples, and we would be happy to be contradicted in any of them." And it went ahead to list. Okay, I should be able to take that. I should be able to take that. All right. Okay. Yeah. Upon careful examination of the 15 points outlined in the October 2nd. Okay, I've read that. The first item on the government is the 35,000 wage award. We hope that you still remember that by the end of January this year, the federal government had only paid just 1 month of our 4 months due to workers. It took pressures from us before some additional months were paid this month. However, it still remains in arrears and has caused undue financial strain on affected workers nationwide. The Port Harcourt refinery has yet to resume production despite assurances to the country. As we write, despite the firm pledge that products will start flowing out of the refinery latest December 2023, nothing has happened. If a liter or a truckload of product has left the refinery to the pumps, Nigerians would be glad to know. The promised 25,000 naira cash transfers to 15 million poor households have not materialized. Rather, all manner of sad tales verging to deep corruption and other malfeasance have emerged from its management, sustaining our earlier fears on the nature of social register, tax waivers for workers, small businesses, and general public, which was supposed to reduce hardship on the poor police, have not been implemented, further burdening them financially. Okay. So, in other words, Labour Congress, the Nigerian Labour Congress, has come out to say the only way, the only thing, the only hindrance to nationwide strike is only when the federal government implements the agreement it had with NLC. And I read some of them, which includes tax waivers for workers, small businesses, and general public. The promised 25,000 naira transfer to 15 million poor households. The commencement of the Port Harcourt refinery. Yeah. Okay. Also 35,000 naira wage award. Yes, the Port Harcourt refinery is yet to resume production. Yes. And yes, that was what Labour Congress reminded the government, that this is the agreement you agreed with us. And these agreements have not been implemented. Now that this agreement you are coming out to say 80% of our agreements with you have been, and which is absolutely not true. Are you not trying to create confusion between federal government and the people and also NLC? So therefore, we are coming out to say, if you, the federal government, has said 80% of the agreement that we agree with you have been implemented, it has not been Nigerians, it has not been implemented though. If federal government is saying that 80%, if it has not been implemented though, that is what that is what NSC has been doing. I just have to dramatize it so that you can understand what. So what is your take on that? Yeah. Believe me when I say I want to hear from you, I really want to hear from you. Hey, I want to see. You see Labour Congress and federal government. Those guys, they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. Now, I read this earlier. Reps asked airlines to refund 4 billion naira COVID-19 funds. I'm not going to take too much on that. I'm just going to take the 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 paragraphs, and then I'll wait for your take on that, and then I'll move to the next story. All right. House of Representatives Public Account Committee has issued a 1-week deadline to all private airline operators in the country to account for the sum of 4 billion given to them by the federal government to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic or refund same in the absence of justifiable evidence of how the amount was spent. The committee, chaired by a member of the People's Democratic Party from Ondo State, Bamidele Salam, issued the ultimatum on Friday at the resuming investigation hearing into the alleged mismanagement of the COVID-19 intervention fund by ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government. The Punch reports that the committee is investigating over 56 MDAs for alleged mismanagement of the intervention fund. The committee said all private airlines that received COVID-19 relief funds designated to support the aviation sector are to refund the allocated funds to the federal government treasury if they fail to give justifiable evidence of how the money was judiciously spent within a week. You know what I'm thinking now? Trust me, that money is gone. All the money that they gave different ministries and departments and all that, it is gone. Do you know what they will now do now? I mean, this is just me thinking like a typical Nigerian, right? They will now start, formulating records and formulating evidences to back up their records. Yeah. Then when the COVID-19 thing started, and it was so serious in other countries, and one of the reasons why, many Nigerians didn't really take it serious was because of the fact that COVID-19, yes, it was in Nigeria, but it wasn't as serious as it was taken. Yeah, that was why many Nigerians didn't take it that serious. People were of the opinion that how deadly that disease was, with how deadly the virus was, and how so many other countries have been affected. If it was really, really in Nigeria, people will be dropping dead in streets, different Nigerians and different thoughts about the COVID-19 thing. And, at the verge of trying to, not allow the Nigerian situation as regards COVID-19 not become so worse, funds were disbursed to several departments and ministries, to help, manage the situation. But you see, this is what I'm thinking now. I mean, this is just my opinion. In a situation where, how do I put it now? If, for instance, you give me 50 million naira to treat typhoid and malaria, you see it now. Yeah? You see it, right? You already get what I'm trying to say already. You already get the scenario. So the reason why there was mismanagement, because definitely for this story, for this to actually come out, for reps asking airlines to refund 4 billion naira COVID-19 funds and other ministries as well, there can only be mismanagement of funds in situations where the purpose at which the funds was made for is not really, really that relevant. So if it's going to cost me 5,000 naira to treat typhoid and malaria, and you give me 50 million naira, there will be a situation of mismanagement of funds. And now you're asking me to come and give an account of how I spent 50 million naira on typhoid and malaria. I will definitely give it to you, because I will look for a way to give it to you so that I don't return the remaining change. I mean, I'm just speaking like a normal. I mean, I might not be wrong. I stand to be corrected as well. I'm just a bloody Nigerian, thinking like a normal Nigerian on the streets. All right. All right, I took this story and I wouldn't want to take it again. SIM NIN linkage, blocked lines raised to 40 million. No fewer than 40 million telephone lines were barred by telecommunication operators over the weekend. Now, I wanted to ask if you're out there and your line was affected or has been affected, let me know. But on the second thought, how would you let me know if you're not watching me because your line has been bad? Yeah, no fewer than 40 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. Oh, come on. No fewer than 40 million lines were barred by telecommunication operators over the weekend, following the expiration of the February 28, 2024 deadline issued by the Nigerian Communications Commission, mandating telecom consumers to link their subscriber identity module to the national identity numbers. Wow. Okay. This represents a 28 million increase from the 12 million telephone lines initially planned to be deactivated by telcos following the NCC directive. In a December 2023 notice, the NCC had asked telcos to bar SIMs that had not been linked to their owners' NINs by February 28, 2024. On Thursday, the NCC Director of Public Affairs, Ruben Moka, ruled out an extension of the deadline, warning that telcos that fail to enforce the deadline would be sanctioned. So, is your SIM card part of the 40 million telephone lines that have been barred? And you, what have you been doing since by now? 40 million. That's a lot. 40 million, to be very honest, that's a lot. So what were those 40 million people doing all this while that they've been shouting and crying? Go and link your NIN and your BVN to your number. Link your NIN, link your NIN. What were they doing? Okay. It's all good. Congratulations to them. But that 40 million is a whole lot of money that, the telcos will be losing. 100 naira each on that 40 million. You know what I'm talking about. 100 naira recharge card on 40 million. You know what do you mean? That's a lot of money that will be lost. And on the other thought, I'm thinking part of that 40 million are SIM cards that people are not really using. Part of that 40 million are SIM cards that, people have lost. Yeah. Because I wonder if you have your main SIM card, you have your line, your main line, your business line, your personal line, and all kinds of line, and you've not linked your NIN and your BVN, you've not linked your NIN to it by this time, it means you don't really need that SIM card, or you've probably misplaced it. So they are not really bothered. So 40 million, not too long. I'll take my last story for this morning. I'll also be in the comment section to engage you on any of the stories, any of the stories that is of interest to you and that I've talked about. Yes, I'll take my last story and then I'll segue and be back again by 1 p.m. for real estate market trend. Yes, Abia Power Project success can be replicated in Lagos. What is it? Now they have said Lagos will copy Kano. Now they are saying the Lagos will Lagos, you say Center of Excellence. What are you? Anyway, let's read that story so that we can quickly move. The former Minister of Power, Prof. Basin Naji, has said the newly inaugurated 181 megawatt power plant in Abia State can be reproduced in Lagos and other states of the country. Naji, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Geometric Power Limited, The owner of the Aba power plant, in an interview with Sunrise Daily, said replicating the project across the country would be a good way of getting out of the reliance on the national grid. He said it's a blotter and ink approach. If you drop ink on a part of a blotter, then it begins to spread. And if you drop it at various places, then it eventually the entire blotter will have ink. If I look at the project that we have here, you can do the same thing in Lagos. You can do it in Eko, you can do it in Ikeja, you can do it in Kano, you can do it in Kaduna, various places where you have economic activities and industrial activities. If you begin to look at the possibility of all of them eventually expanding, then that's what can help the country. You need to have a tight generation and distribution, not a generation that has no direct relationship between generation and distribution. Now, it is possible for these to be replicated throughout the country, and it will be a very good way to not have to rely on the national grid power arrangement. Yes, a new electricity distribution company, Aba Power Limited Electric, has started taking electricity from the plant and supplying it to about 9 of the 17 local government areas in the southeast state. According to Neji, the power plant's 188 megawatt capacity is more than the required power needed for the 9 LGAs. He said the capacity is almost 2/3 of what Enugu Electricity is currently serving the 5 southeast states. By the time we finish installing, we have 188 megawatt capacity. That's almost 2/3 of what Enugu Disco is serving 5 states in the east. Wow. The way to ensure reliability is that you have more than just adequate power. You have to have more than the requirements of the area. Yes, it must be more so, because you cannot predict peak load for power always. People can just decide to do something and drop power. Lagos State, follow suit, and every other state, so that we don't have to depend solely on what is it called now? National grid. That it's always greedy. You know that national grid is always greedy sometimes, and sometimes you just decide to be very, very greedy with power, and then we say, national grid has fallen, falling. So if we have more than enough, and we have different states, generating power themselves, it will go a long way in reducing the workload on national grid. National grid will just, be serving probably just a few states that may not be able to have theirs. And if we have major states in Nigeria, generate power themselves, generate more than enough, generate and distribute, it's going to go a long way to reduce the workload on the national grid. Yes, we are still talking about all the stories that I've mentioned right here on Table Talk. We're still talking about them even after the end of this session. This is the point where I'll draw the curtain, and I'll join you once again by 4 p.m. And for now, do have yourself a wonderful Monday and happy March. Yeah, okay, goodbye.
Information, they say, is key. And by key, do well to join us every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. live on Facebook and on YouTube. We are Cedarwood Luxury Online Radio, Nigeria's first real estate radio.
The famous Monastery Road, Shongotedu. What makes this location so special? Let's take a look. Ah, I see. So, this is the beautiful street where Future Town by Cedarwood is located. No wonder we don't just talk about this property, we brag about it. Future Town by Cedarwood. Join the city evolution and purchase this premium property with a land title of CFO and consent judgment. 450 square meters sells for an introductory price of 25 million naira. Aha! Also, within the same playing field is Tribe City by P1 Plus. This property also comes with a land title of CFO and consent judgment. 450 square meters sells for an introductory price of 30 million naira. Now, you have two great properties worth investing in. Both properties are located on Monastery Road, 2 minutes drive to the Lekki Ekpe Expressway and 1 minute from the beach. With excellent road networks and electricity supply, we are neighbors to ShopRite, School of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship Development, Mater Ecclesiae Coventry, and various established estates. With fast-paced appreciation, the decision to act smartly is in your hands. Buy Future Town by Cedarwood. Buy Tribe City by P1 Plus. We are making your home ownership dream a reality.
When we land